Hello, everybody. I just wanted to do a quick little tool rundown, especially tools that Twitter has definitely been raving and going wild about. Start with this one. I thought this one was really cool by this user, Chris Kashtanova. She's been doing a whole bunch of stable diffusion work. And stable diffusion is kind of like Midjourney. It's an image generator, but it's something that you download to your local machine. You have to have some pretty good extensive server, kind of really good graphics card, really good hardware, but you can do some incredible things. It's completely unrestricted. You can create anything. And in this example, I thought it was absolutely brilliant, is that it's a aging prompt. So I think the overall tactic here is to specify a certain prompt with a picture added, and then have that same prompt, but with one of the variables changing, and the main variable is the age. So it's same picture, same prompt, but age is different, and these are the different variations that happen. So this is the stable diffusion aging the person. It's, I think, incredible. So a lot of amazing potential. So this is a compilation of all the different images that were generated. Yeah, you can check out Chris, she, he, whatever, they, them, nonsense. But they do produce a lot of content on all kinds of image generation. Next one is this app, Gamma, a new medium for presenting ideas. So it's a PowerPoint presentation generated by AI. I thought this is actually very, very useful. So you can have, I think, AI consult you along your presentation creation. So kind of like that. Check this out. So they're changing the lookup. Nice, easy way to select various type of content. So I can see how so AI is used most likely to generate not only the content within, but also calls out to some image generators that generate stylized imagery that's relatable to your particular kind of style template. So yeah, very cool. AI to generate PowerPoints. So very neat. This one I thought was actually really, really useful. So it's tripnotes.ai, and you can have AI create your itinerary or create your trip destination. So for example, from LA, let's go to New York, and then once here we can do I'd like to spend a day here. Let's see what TripNotes generates for us. So calls out to AI. I can see with most likely some kind of I am going to New York. I'd like to spend a day here. Prompt is generating us a day's worth of activities. But the cool part is that it is then listing some interesting places to, I guess, go. Living room, restaurants. Okay, Carnegie Hall, Hyatt's Trademark Bar, Tao. So I see this is restaurant themed. But very cool, easy way to come up with places to go. So let's say where to, I don't know if, how do I use it? From Los Angeles to New York. Interesting. So I guess it's only really to the speaking about a local destination, so not really a trip. But let's see. So once you get here, you can ask a secondary question, right? So like a 3-day itinerary, 5 late night spots for a weeknight. That's cool. Let's check that out. Let's see what it thinks of as the Greater LA, 5 weeknight spots. So let's see. Yeah, you can kind of see what the prompt was. Now it's giving us weeknight spots. Sure, why not? What is this? West Hollywood? Is this In and Out? No, animal something. Meat and seafood animal. Interesting. The apple pan. Oh, I've been here. This is the most incredible apple pie, actually. Mm-hmm. It's Culver City. Yeah, Pico. Yes, yes. No, but the burgers. But the pie with the pie juice. Yeah, good stuff. But yeah, interesting site. Check it out. Moving on, this user Sam Bowen, very interesting post on just an interesting post on 8 issues that let's say he goes, enormous number of people, including journalists, advocates, lawmakers, and academics, have started to pay attention to this technology in the last few months. This is appropriate. Technology is on track to be really impactful. We want the full force of government and civil society to be involved in figuring out what we do with it. He's aiming a paper to lay out some of the points that are relevant to some of these decisions, but that might be easy to miss if you're just starting to follow the technology. 8 ways that large language models are a weird technology. And I thought this was kind of cool. So large language models, what we call AI today, certainly is not artificial intelligence. That's something to keep in mind. These are all tools that are starting to resemble, to our primitive minds, starting to resemble what could be considered artificial intelligence. But we're not there yet. But the large language models predictably get more capable with increasing investment, even without targeted innovation. So this is a big point, especially how more capable they are every single time that there's more money invested. And the next investment is actually by NVIDIA to the tune of several $billions to provide hardware and technology to run some of these AI models that the world just hasn't seen yet. And this is just the start. Imagine whole nation states' effort to running AIs in the future. It's going to be insane. Next up is many important behaviors emerge unpredictably as a byproduct of increasing investment. Another thing, it's just the bigger the models, the more inadvertent behavior, unexpected behavior that can emerge. It's similar to where you have one fish versus a school of a million of them. One fish will do one thing, but a school will do something completely different. Or even more importantly is like I like to use the example of a termite mound, where a single termite is just a wood-eating idiot, but a billion of them somehow can make an enormous mound that incredibly highly precise in temperature control and a very, very, very highly controlled environment, so controlled breeding ground that they create, unbeknownst to them. So it's this emerging behavior that is really a potential for trouble or a potential for concern in the future. We don't know what that emergent behavior is going to be once a million different AIs are working in unison to create things for us. Large language models often appear to learn and use representations outside the world. Yeah, so again, to our primitive mind, these things are starting to look like they are somewhat sentient, which is a little bit scary. There are no reliable techniques for steering the behavior of LLMs. Once the bigger and the more complex they get, it becomes much more difficult to understand how it's generating this output. And experts are not able to interpret the inner workings of large language models. Yeah, that's people who design this thing are not certain how certain outputs are generated. Not sure exactly how it's able to come up and deduce some of the outputs, and usually has to do with like a brain state and like a mental state, where the AI is able to put itself into the mindset of somebody else. Like, what would that person be thinking? And that's a really, really advanced cognitive ability. Human performance on task isn't an upper bound on large language model performance. Yeah. So yeah, we're kind of using people as how good is it to do, how good is it compared to somebody that's a human, but we're just basically hairless apes in a lot of the tasks that we do. And this thing is of alien ability. It is nonstop, never tiring thinking machine. So large language model need not express the values of their creators nor the values encoded in web text. Yeah, there's the issue of alignment and the alignment of AI with the alignment of its needs with our needs as human beings. And this is a really, really important issue to consider, especially seeing how fast and how many of these products are coming out on the market. And you can tell that the main motivator behind these products is financial motivations. So certainly not ethical or something to ensure that there's proper alignment between the overall objectives of humanity and these language models. So no, their values, whatever it is that they are now, whatever it is that we set now, that whole emerging effect down the line is going to, it's going to create very, very different alternatives to values compared to what we think are values, and then it's going to act on those, and we're not really going to know how or why it's doing these things, and yet it's going to be doing these things for us. And when I say these things, most things it will be doing for us. But at the same time, we won't really understand what its motivations are. So, really kind of weird. Brief interactions with large language models, chatbot, are often misleading. You sit down and you have a quick session with some of the more primitive models, and it just seems like a fancy calculator. But things like GPT-4, especially when you start to tie in agents and kind of a multi-chained GPT technology, where one GPT, one AI is tasking another AI and getting results from a third AI, and it could be like this into the hundreds, and soon will be thousands, probably millions, where an application will have just millions of different AIs, just like an application has different threads now that are going to be doing tasks, and it's going to complicate the hell out of trying to figure out what and why things are being done for us in the future. So yeah, I thought these were really cool. Just we'll speed on through the rest here, and that's a neat tool released by Facebook, Meta AI, and it's the segment anything model, where their AI is able to now pick apart and segment image like that, like never before. This is absolutely incredible that it's able to pick each of these elements and segment them apart and create it in its own object for each of those elements in the picture. And you can then use those assets in many different ways. So you can then not only select each one of these individually, you can manipulate them, you can change things around per specific, like per item in the image. So I thought that was really neat. This user here is really good one to check out, the Rundown AI. AI prompting is the next biggest skill to learn. Very true. I mean, pretty much everything now interacting with AI is learning how to formulate a prompt to get the concise results that you needed. If companies are paying, about, I'd say $160, $100 an hour Some companies are paying for people to come in here and start doing some more advanced prompts for them, picking apart their data with AI. So some of the things to look for when you are messing around with prompts in OpenAI, for example, is you can specify the temperature. And you can specify this, so these are usually parameters that you can make with each call to ChatGPT, for example, or in OpenAI. So every single time you make a request, there are a certain set of parameters that are sent over along with the request, something like a temperature. We can take a look at some of the other ones that you can see in some of this example code. If I can actually find it, is calls to the OpenAI create chat completion, for example, here like GPT 3.5 Turbo. So as you can see, we have temperature, we have top P, frequency, penalty, presence penalty, and all of these are variables that you can modify in some way to create different outputs. So a temperature of 1 or above will make your output more creative. It's just sometimes just mumbo jumbo. And the lower the temperature, the more conservative. It's basically going to give you what it thinks is exactly what you're asking for, which is useful sometimes and sometimes not. So here's a short paragraph with a temperature at 10, and AI will continue to gain popularity as the omnipotent, multifarious, scintillating amalgamation of synergetic, transcendent, the quintessential facets of computational sorcery, blah, 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 like a bunch of nonsense. And then when you set a low temperature, it gives you an actual reasonably, sounding paragraph like AI will continue to gain popularity due to its remarkable ability to enhance productivity. So yeah, you can see it's much better when you modify and mess with the temperature. You can have ChatGPT write your own prompt for you, which is actually pretty good. So if you were to say, what's the best prompt for ChatGPT to learn my writing styles and respond to my emails for me, it'll give you a actual kind of guideline to the prompt, and it's oftentimes very useful. Now, this is useful in ChatGPT. This wouldn't be useful if you were actually kind of sending stuff through code. There, you have to format your prompts a bit more specifically. But overall, the idea is that you give it a objective of what it is, like you want the AI to do something, then examples of what it would be like if it already did these things, any kind of guidelines, specific rules that you want to set to make sure that it does or doesn't do, and then you can give it like writing your particular request, and so it'll use its objective, it'll use your examples, and then it'll use the guidelines to give you the output. So a good way to structure your prompts. So you can create unique business ideas. Generate a list with ChatGPT is straightforward. Ask ChatGPT to suggest innovative angles or perspectives. So yeah, I like to use this as well. Generate unique angles or strategies. I like to say novel or innovative. How to increase your creative output. Emphasize innovative ideas. There you go. He uses innovative. Yeah, novel, innovative. Ask it for variations on words like novel and innovative, and then you can then use that as your prompt. You can basically prime by asking for certain words and certain keywords or certain templates or frameworks, and then start to ask questions in relation to that framework so that it understands that the output should be like that. Right. Move down. Simulate an expert. Yeah, you can have ChatGPT be an expert. So in this one is a Harvard marketing graduate and skilled content creator. Guide me in crafting social media content that resonates with the AI. So yeah, Harvard marketing. I mean, I guess it's still associating Harvard as the very top, but yeah, this is a good way to generate prompts that come off sounding like as though it's coming from some elitist. Train GPT on your email writing style or respond to emails with your tone. Yeah, just plug in a couple of emails and ask it to give you output. Of course, table format, one of my favorites, is you ask it to create a table for top AI tools. Include the following columns: name, category, one-liner. And you can see GPT-1, OpenAI text classifier, GPT-0, model capable of various, I don't know if GPT-0 is some kind of model, but yeah, somewhat maybe an older list of tools here, but overall the objective is you can put this into a table format. Table, CSV, code box, you can do various types of outputs, which are very useful for copy and pasting. This guy has a whole lot of different posts. Barcy, he's a good one to follow. AI guy, daily tweets on the latest tools. Got some good tools here. Ideas AI, generating a bunch of ideas. Validate and receive constructive feedback, and then you start a business. So you can see most of the AI tools are really kind of just front ends for various prompts, and this is why prompt engineering is going to be such a big, huge thing. Because at the end of the day, a bunch of these tools is just let me ask OpenAI or let me ask ChatGPT the question for you. So you ask it in a simple way, but these sites are formulating them in a more advanced, precise prompt. That's why it's better to start to get the hang of these and learn these things yourself, so you don't have to use 45 different tools. Yeah, you can create a name for your business. Namelinks generates a short, brandable business name using artificial intelligence. And yeah, you can see that it's basically putting nice looking, easily navigatable front ends for our queries. You need a logo. You can get the logo at stockimage.ai. You want an AI co-founder for your business. It'll give you a pitch deck, your mission, competitor analysis, revenue model, all of that. Again, you can ask it all to yourself, but I guess these sites, they just format stuff for you. Need websites. You can go check out some of this. So it's Stunning SO. Write your copy with ChatGPT. Your inputs I gave: word count, product name, customer pain point, risk reversal, call to action, and it's going to write the prompt. So there you go. Word count, product name, customer pain point, risk reversal, call to action. So you can see it's all about prompts. Generate marketing images. That's Midjourney. We've gone over that many times, and we'll be going more in the future. So check out this guy, Barcy. He's got, again, a bunch of good posts. Gamma app. We saw that. That's the deck. So a bunch of cool tools. Teleport back into your memories like you were there again, all from your iPhone. It's pretty neat. Look at that, like augmented reality app. Cool. Check out AITopTools.com. Right, it's a big list of all kinds of tools. You can select freemium, paid, free trial, contact for pricing, all kinds of. Here's all the free ones. It's pretty neat. Ask AI, Humata, Tome, Namelinks, there it is, name generator. So a lot of free tools, a lot of like really cool front ends for all the queries. So check this site out. This is a plugin for your browser, which allows you to mess around with Sheets, Google Sheets, and has a chatbot inside Google Sheet. Thought that was kind of neat. So for people who are into gaming and creating games, this is a neat one, Leonardo AI. You can start to create all kinds of images and models for your games, all types of assets. Again, like once you start to get the hang and get more into advanced prompting, you can generate these things with Midjourney. But this is going to be all here in one nice convenient site. Long shots, same thing. Let's see what they have here. Content rephraser, fact generator, headline generator, meta description generator. AI creates meta description for your blog, blog ideas, text extender. So pretty cool. Actually free for a whole lot of uses. So 100 credits. Not sure how much you're gonna get with 100, but they got some more advanced pay plans. Oftentimes, these services are usually between 20 and $60. And the last one here is Morrissey.ai. It will generate YouTube video titles, descriptions, and tags for you. And I think some other features as well, but I thought that was kind of cool. I haven't used it yet myself, but I have used AI to generate some titles, which has been very useful and time saving. So, all right, guys, I hope you enjoy it. If you do, like and subscribe to the channel. I'll keep making some of these videos, highlighting some of the tools that are coming down, and probably we'll do more of these Twitter reviews in the future. And we'll go more into code and how some of these tools are work in the background. All right, thanks, guys.